What's up everyone, Ains here, Seasoned Gaming, and yes, we are back with another Halo Master Chief statue. So, just recently I did the video on the Master Chief versus Escharum diorama from Gaming Heads. This is the other Halo piece that came out just recently, which is, as you can see, a Master Chief statue by himself. So this is based on Halo 3, as you can see. It is called the Legendary Edition, which I'll get to in a second. And essentially it just shows Chief climbing a rocky mountaintop, energy sword, assault rifle on the back. Pretty straightforward in terms of modern statues, but I'll touch on that as well. So this is from Gaming Heads, as I said. Gaming Heads is the only company selling the Legendary Edition, which they made 500 of. You can see right here I got number 34, so pretty low number. Like I said with the diorama, I ordered these pretty much immediately, so that is not a surprise. Stands about 19 to 20 inches tall, they said, and weighs close to 30 pounds. This one retails for $630, which, if you follow the channel, is kind of in this middle range. So it's a 1 to 4 statue. We're going to look at it and see the detail. Obviously, it looks a little less intricate than some modern statues, but as you know, the Prime 1 statues have really gone up into the $1,000, $1,100, $1,200, $1,300 range because their bases are super detailed nowadays. Whereas this looks more like the kind of statue we would have gotten several years ago, where it's really just a focus on the character and a pretty standardized base. So the other interesting thing is they call this a Legendary Edition, and they made 500 of them, but you can get the same exact statue from other places, and it's just called the Halo 3 Master Chief statue, and they made 1,000 of those. So in reality, and there's no difference. So in reality, there's 1,500 of these exact statue on the market. It's just whether you get the little Gaming Heads card and stuff from there for the Legendary Edition. So as always, going to go ahead and get this out of the box. We'll take a look at the mold, give you an up close look at it, and then I'm also going to bring over my classic Sideshow Master Chief, which I've had for a very long time. It's sitting right over there. That's a 1 to 4 statue as well, and I have to imagine the size is pretty similar, but we'll compare the quality of the two. I'll also bring back the diorama from last week, and I'll set them all up here so we can see what they look like next to each other. But let me go ahead and get this out of the box and we'll start taking a look. Alright, so I went and took the pieces out of the box because primarily there's almost nothing to it. There's quite literally 5 pieces. So we're going to take a look at the base first. Alright, so the good news right out of the gate as I look at this is it's more detailed than I imagined, which is nice. So you can see kind of nice rocky surface, a lot of texture work, and shading and coloring of the base. As I already said, number 34 out of 500 Master Chief Legendary Edition. So this is pretty cool looking so far. It's definitely a step up from the, well, I don't know. We'll take a look. We'll compare it to the classic Sideshow, because the classic Sideshow Master Chief also stands on a rocky surface. And then we have Chief here himself. The interesting thing is that as big as Halo is, and as many kind of iconic characters, even outside of Chief, whether it be Cortana, or Arbiter, or Johnson, that you could make statues of, they've done a really poor job in that regard. There's tons of figures, there's tons of books and comics and all kinds of other merch, but statues are actually pretty hard to come by that are what I would consider premier statues, right? There's some of the $200 to $400 variety, but actually big 1 to 4, even 1 to 3 is what I'd really like to see. Scale, Chief, Cortana, Arbiter, or like a new Chief and Arbiter would be amazing, but we don't see that. All right, so keeping in mind, this is Halo 3 Master Chief, so no 117 on the Mjolnir armor. Some pretty nice paintwork here. It's a little kind of glossy for my like. It's got this kind of texture to it, but the texture itself is actually really nice. And man, he is damaged up in this. There's all kinds of scarring and holing and stuff on his armor, so it's scratches. It's pretty cool though. The assault rifle on his back looks relatively detailed. Now, let's go ahead and put him in here because I want to show you what he actually comes with, which, like I said, is very, very basic. But let's go ahead and hopefully he slots right in. There you go, slots well. Comes with the energy sword for his arm at the back here. And as I was looking at this, oh, this might be the wrong arm actually, is it? Oh, that's definitely not right. So it's got to be this one. As I was looking at this, which I found interesting, is that this is Halo 3, and yet when you look at this energy sword, which by the way, really nice coloring on this. The mold's really nice. This isn't like super flexy. It's actually really strong and kind of thick, which is good. But you notice how the points come together. And I found that interesting because if you really want to geek out, if you do a comparison of the energy swords across the Halos, it's not really until about Reach, at least in the game series, where these swords start to come together in the game. Whereas Halo 3 were typically a little more separated. So just a little detail there. I don't really know. All of these are officially licensed, of course, so I don't know why, per se, they made the energy sword look like that, but here we are. Arm slots on. And then the only other thing you get, give you a better angle, the only other thing you get are really two arms. You can have an open hand or a fist for his other arm. Generally speaking, I'm going to prefer a fist, so I'll probably leave it like that. Yeah, that's what we're going with. And this extra piece. So there's not a whole lot to the statue, which, you know, there's something to be said for the statues now, which are really just a kind of like a giant unposable figure, right? A lot of the statues, like the Prime ones I get, they come with all sorts of different options and poses and kind of attachments you can put on the characters, and that's really, really cool. But you pay a lot for that, right? So if you really just want to showcase the character, this at $630, especially for the size, I mean, it's a pretty good size, it's a pretty good weight, it's got some nice paint detail on it. It's kind of hard to argue against this, when really if you went a 1:4 kind of in the newer model that we see, it would be double that. So it's a big price delta. Anyway, this is pretty damn cool. I like this. It's about time we have another actual Chief statue, as I said. Some of the paintwork on the back with the lights isn't great. Like there's a couple blue lights on the back here. I'll try to show you. It's kind of small, but they kind of blend over into the green. It's not super detailed there. It's definitely not to the level of quality that you would expect of, like, you know, I've got Doomslayer over there, but that's a $2,500 statue. And some of the other higher end Prime ones and stuff, it's not quite up to that quality. But for what it is and the weight and the build of it, it looks really sharp. Let me, I'll give you a 360 view of him here. And then let me pull over the other ones, and I'll bring the camera a little bit closer so that you can see exactly what we're looking at here. Pretty cool pose, you know, it's kind of got that superhero pose going on. All right, let me grab those other statues, adjust the camera, we'll swap over. Okay, so we got a lot of Master Chief going on here. So, if you're not familiar, this is the Sideshow statue from like 10 years ago. This is the exclusive edition. He has a needler. You can also swap out the pistol and the assault rifle, but I like the needler, give it a little bit of an exclusive look. This stands about 23 to 24 inches tall, so just about 2 feet. The base is this kind of nice rocky terrain, but it's actually rather light. So this is a lighter statue than this one. As you can see with this one, it's obviously, you know, when they measure by height, it's a few inches lower. So like I said, I think it's about 19 inches. But the rock formation is kind of, in my opinion, kind of cooler looking. It's painted better. It's also much heavier. However, going back again, as I said, the paint on this Gaming Heads model it's a little glossy, and the details in the specific like crevices and around the corners is kind of muddy a bit. It's not up to the level of quality that you would typically expect of a high-end statue. This looks a lot more natural, like his armor looks more natural, the lines are more defined, you don't have that kind of blend or kind of mushy look on the paint like you do a little bit with this one. Goes without saying, the one in the middle is the diorama I did the video on last week. Welcome to check that out as well, of Chief versus Escharum, but it just goes to show you the difference. Keep in mind, these two pieces right here are about the same price. So, you know, bang for the buck, you're definitely getting more out of the full-on 1:4 statue. But there's a lot more little details, right? Because of Escharum, his armor, the base, Chief, everything. So, just depends what you like. You know, obviously I like them all because it's Halo. But, yeah, you know, looking at these two, if I look at this from afar, I really like this new Chief. It might be my favorite Chief, although like I said, we don't get many of them. But when you look up close, this one is the nicer piece. And the funny thing is, because this is so old now, back when I bought this, I want to say this retailed for $400, which is an absolute bargain nowadays. You don't see statues like that for $400 anymore. But anyway, so that's the gaming head, $630, Legendary Edition, Halo 3 Master Chief. 500 of them made from gaming heads, 1,000 made from other outlets. As always, you know, I'm here to answer questions. Happy to talk statues all day long. So if you have any questions, anything I forgot to mention, anything else you want me to talk about, I'm always here. And as always, everyone that tunes into these unboxings and just kind of hangs out, listens to me ramble about statues, greatly appreciate it. And, you know, as always, there are more on the way. In fact, I think next week, Pure Arts is announcing a Sigmire and Sigurd Dark Soul statue. I can't wait to see those. We know that I think it's First 4 has the Elden Ring license, which, oh my God, help me how much I'm going to spend on those. So I have Nathan Drake coming from Prime 1. There's a few other things on order as well. I don't remember. But as always, you know where to come for the gaming statues. We got plenty of them, plenty of reviews to talk through. And always happy to answer questions. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, get these Chiefs set up properly on some shelving. And thank you as always. Reminder to tune into the Season Gaming Bigcast every Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern for your weekly gaming show. We cover everything with technical, legal, and industry insight. So it's a show that can be very informative and very random at times. But otherwise, thank you as always. We will see you next time. Peace.